Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Social Marketing. My name is Eric Hammond with The Orange Stack. We do this show every week. We provide you tips and strategies on helping you grow your business through social media. So today we're talking about blogs. A lot of real estate agents that we work with create blogs. They're talking about the market, what's going on. A lot of businesses nowadays just use blogs. It's a great way to communicate with new audiences and stay engaged with your clients and get a lot of followers that way. Podcast is another big one. Check out our podcast video that's coming soon. Anyway, today we're talking about 5 ways to really drive a lot of traffic from Facebook to your blog page and what you can do with that. So great video. So let's jump right into it. The first one is to take your blog post, right? You have to have the post somewhere. We definitely recommend hosting it on your website because you can do a lot with remarketing the people that come to your website. But there's platforms like Medium, LinkedIn, anyway, tons of great places to host your post. But it all starts with having that great blog, making it interesting, making the pictures, that first picture that you see interesting, the headlines, the title, the metadata, all that stuff has to be in check before you even start. So some of that's going to come into play later as we go through this content. But the first one is to compose a Facebook post. So once you have your blog written, it's to start the post, and you got to describe what it is that you're learning about. So if it's 2018 real estate trends, how to buy a house in today's market, whatever your thing is, have something catchy that's going to get people's attention. And then by default, when you copy your blog URL from your site, so my blog is theorangestack.com/blog. Go check out our blogs, quick plug in here. If you put that URL actually in your Facebook post, it's going to, by default, pull up the heading. So it's going to call it whatever you did in big bold letters down below that big black font. And then it's also going to use the first picture that you use as the Facebook post. So again, it helps to have a pretty blog to start with, so there's a lot of less effort on the other side of that when you actually go to create your post. So have a catchy heading, design something that immediately draws your eye into that attention. If you can have something that talks about the home in the market or whatever it is that you're trying to talk about, have something that's catchy and interesting to look at. We talked about this the other day, actually. If you use Flickr, FLICKR.com, you can go get tons of great pictures on there to use in your blogs. And a lot of them are free. Some artists will make you pay for that, but there's a lot of great pieces there that you can use that are high quality photos. So go find something catchy that's going to get your attention, because video is king. So if you have a blog, you're probably going to be having a hard time capturing people's attention with just a photo, but we're going to talk about video in a second. So again, make sure your blog is up to date. Make sure you got great metadata. The title's on par with what you're talking about. Getting people's attention is a big one. The carousel post. Have you guys seen that? It's the posts that have like 1, 2, 3, like 6 different photos across, and when you're on your phone you only see one. On a desktop you see about 1 or 2 depending on how your screen resolution is. But what's cool is you can actually post on there several blogs at once. So maybe I write a blog about the market, and I write a blog about buying a home in the zip code, and I write a blog about interest rates, and I write a blog about 5 ways to fix up your house when you're ready to sell it. And I want to share all those blogs in my Facebook community. I can actually have a whole chain of pictures in that carousel and all the blogs tied there. So when people scroll through that carousel of photos, they can see all the blogs that are available. So you get like 1 post, 5 blogs, best result you can get. So think about something like that if you want to tie it in all to sellers, or if you want to tie it all into buyers, or whatever the market is that you're trying to reach at that moment in time. But it's a great way to have 1 post and get a lot of blogs out there with 1 great result. Another great way too, it's kind of like tricking people into thinking that it's a video, but it's to use a GIF. So GIF. You can have a GIF that kind of animates the post to make it look a little bit more interesting. GIFs can be a couple seconds long, all the way up to like 10 or 15 seconds. I don't know what the actual definition of a GIF is, but you can capture people's attention. So if it's somebody moving or something happening in that GIF, it's going to capture their attention as they're scrolling through with their thumb on their phone, and you're kind of getting them to pause for a second and see what it is that you have to post. That's a great way to capture their attention and say, ooh, let me look at this more. Let me read the headlines, see if there's something here that I want to read about. So having a cool GIF can be a great way to get people's attention. There's a ton of ways to make your own GIFs or download GIFs too. Just Google how how do I download a GIF, and you can find something great online. The next part is to optimize your posts for organic reach. Anyway, the point here is to really know your audience. You're trying to get as much organic traffic as you can, so you don't have to pay Facebook too much money to get your content out there. The amount of organic reach is shrinking every day on Facebook, and the reach that you can have out there. We're going to talk about paid ads in a second, but let's focus on the organic ones right now. You got to know your audience. If you know that your audience reads blogs at noon on Wednesdays, that's a great time to post your blog out there. Get it out there. We at The Orange Stack, we produce a newsletter that goes out every single Thursday. It has all our blogs in it, a lot of great content. Another quick plug in there, go check out our newsletter. But it goes out every morning at Thursday at 8 a.m. because I know a lot of our readers are busy through the week. They're real estate agents, they have a lot going on. And right before the open house, massive amount of weekend traffic happens, they have a couple hours to read on a Thursday. So Thursday is our day. Thursday at 8 a.m. our newsletter goes out, and I know that because we've tested it. So test your audience. There's a lot of analytics to Facebook and Google Analytic Tracker so that you can actually know where your audience is on your website at any given time, but you can track and see when are most people reading my blogs. And that's when you want to post this so that you're trying to drive that traffic who's already on Facebook or online at that time to your site at a specific moment. The average user is on Facebook 18 to 20 times a day. So your audience might be on a lot during the day. You just need to know that and know when they're there. And if there's a certain time of the day when they read articles versus watch videos, you may want to think about that, how you post your stuff. I know with me, I watch videos more in the morning. I read more content later in the day. So I'm different. And maybe other people are that way too. You just have to know your audience. You got to know where they're going to be organically and how to reach them. Another big thing is to share this post on your personal profile. So we're talking about business pages specifically here. We talk mostly about business pages, but if you can share this content onto your personal page and get your normal friends and followers to share that post with their friends, it's going to reach hundreds of people organically that you don't have to pay for to get that action. So that's great. Try to get as much organic reach as you possibly can. Okay, tip number 3. Now we're gonna start spending money. So this is talking about boosting your posts to fans and a custom audience. So this is people that have never seen you before, most likely. It's gonna be a new audience. It's kind of a cold audience, but it doesn't have to be. And we're gonna talk about that in a second too. But once your post is up, it's time to reach new fans and get your message out to a new group of people that's going to help you have an ROI and start a conversion. So what you can do is to create different audiences. Number one, you can say, okay, I want to target anybody that follows my page. Let's say you have 100 followers or 10,000 followers. I want to just market to those people because they're already familiar with the content that I put out there and they're pretty likely to actually read and engage in my blog. So that's what we do too. We target the people that come to our page, that they know our stuff already, and they're probably more likely to read it. So that's audience number 1. Audience number 2, well, let's call this 1A. It's friends of the people that follow you. So if John follows me, now I can target all of John's friends, knowing that John's friends probably have similar interests to them and they're doing similar type of things. That's the audience that I'm looking for. So Facebook knows who John's friends are, and it's going to put your message in front of them. So that's the first group that you want to target. Target 2 would be really anybody that's engaged with your audience. Anybody that's engaged with your page. So maybe you've been posting blogs or you've been putting out video or content. Anybody that's looking at that content that doesn't follow you, you can actually make that a new audience too. And there's a lot that you can do with this, but I'm not getting into the retargeting aspects of what Facebook can do right now, but just know that if somebody's seen content from you before, there's a much greater chance that they're going to open something because they trust you, they've seen your smiling face, they read your stuff, they recognize your brand. And so that repeat content is going to be easier and easier for them to open. It's just like they said when mail was huge, right? It can take often, 10, 15 times for someone to see your mail come through before they actually start reading the content. But it's that 10th and 15th touch that converts people. So if you keep putting content in front of somebody who's opening your stuff and reading your blogs over and over and over, that's a great audience to target. Some of the things that you can target actually are anyone who's visited your page. Again, these are people who aren't followers yet, but anyone who's visited your page, anyone who's watched the video that you've put up, anybody that's been to your website. So if you've got tons of blogs and you're getting a lot of traffic to the other blogs and you're trying to get a new blog out there, target the people that already read your blogs on your website and get this new blog in front of them. So again, if you just look through the ad options on Facebook, there's tons of places that you can pick and choose how the audience is built based off engagement with your brand and who you are. So with a boost too, the idea here is to really just start getting money spent and see what happens. It's not like saying, hey, Facebook, take all my money. It's just an easy way to click the boost button, set up a small audience if you haven't already. It's best if you can kind of have an audience already determined from there, that you're just kind of go-to audience and go from there. But set a small budget, maybe pick 2 days, $20, see what happens, get it out there, see if you get a ton of hearts and thumbs up and likes and all that kind of stuff. And if it does well, expand from there, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next tip. But really the boost is to just kind of get the ball rolling, get some momentum. So that leads into step number 4, which is create an ad campaign to target a broader audience. So really you started with a boost. That's really to just get the ball rolling, get your message out there, get your blog in the eyes of new people, right? So you probably showed it now with $20. You probably showed it to 500 people at the most. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all you wanted to reach. But maybe you have bigger goals. Maybe you're trying to reach 10,000 people or more. Maybe you're trying to get leads and convert people and have them take action and do something from this blog. That's really where the ad campaign comes in. So you're going into your ad manager, which is a little daunting for new people. It can be kind of scary. That's one of the things that we actually help our clients with, is creating ads for specific audiences that are going to bring you results that you're looking for. So you go to the ad manager and you can really define, who do I want to communicate with? Who do I want to speak with? How do I want to spend my money? I can determine the time of day when people see it. I can determine how many times this ad is shown to people. I can determine how much I'm willing to spend to get someone to actually take action on my ad. And then you can get really detailed again in the audience. So you want to target high ROI audiences. So these might be, people who read your blogs already. So if you have dozens of blogs already and you're trying to put a new blog topic out there. Let's say you write about the real estate industry and now you're talking about remodeling. So it's probably connectable, but it's a new audience that maybe you haven't talked about, or a new topic that you haven't talked about yet. You might pick a few blogs in there that have mentioned remodeling but didn't go too deep in it, and pull anybody that's read those articles and be able to remarket this new article towards those people, if that makes sense. Maybe you say, I only want to market to people that have actually been to my blog page in the last 30 days, because that's more relevant than people who've been there a year ago. I think you can only go back about 6 months, so scratch that comment, but you get the idea, right? You want to have more relevant readers than you do long-term stuff. Again, video views. Maybe you have videos and that's all you've done for a long time, and you want to say, okay, everybody who's watched my video, by the way, we also have a written content as well, so check out our blog and our video at the same time. That also works if you're getting into podcasts. That's something that we're recommending now too a lot, is start a podcast. Podcasts are huge. A lot of people listening to those nowadays. So there's that one. Maybe you want to target customers. So people who are in the buying process, they're looking at homes with you, they're searching your site. So let's say you have an IDX feed. Hopefully if you're a real estate agent, you have an IDX feed and you get people who are checking out your homes, your listings, they're coming to your page. What you can do is target anybody who's actively looking for homes on the market right now, basically all the traffic that's coming to any page that has an IDX feed, and saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent, here's what's going on, here's my content, here's how to be an A+ buyer in 2018, right? That'd be a great blog title for people that are actively looking at your blogs. So those are kind of current customers that you're, I hate using the word customers, but current clients that you're working with who are ready to make the decision. This is just kind of helping push them in the next step to want to work with you. Another one might be warm leads. So again, this kind of comes back to traffic, people that are watching your content, people that are engaged with you. Maybe they haven't called you and given you a name and a number and said, hey, call me, I'm ready to work with you. They're just somebody that's in your system, reading your content, engaging with you, watching your stuff. Again, that's a great audience to reach out to. And then the last one is people interested in the topic. So Facebook's creepy. I'm just going to say it. They know a lot about you. They know what you're looking at. They know what you're watching. They know where you live. They know how much money you make. They know if you're married, how many kids you have, all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in buying a house, Facebook's going to know about it. And so you can pick this audience and say, anybody that's likely to move needs to read my article about how to buy a home in 2018 and how to be an A+ buyer, right? So you can target people that are probably interested in the content that you're writing about. And maybe you see all the things that Facebook knows and everything that you can create an audience around, and you write articles relating to the audience that Facebook knows about. So that's tip number 4. The last one really is to evaluate your results. I always tell people this: you got to know your audience and you got to know your numbers. You got to know what's happening. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you have 100 or 200 normal and now you have 1,000 people checking out this blog because it's a huge hit. It went viral in your little world, and that's incredible. So go deeper on that. Maybe break that one subject up into 5 more categories, or come up with video content that has to do something with it. You always got to know your numbers. You got to know how you're doing, and you can look at Facebook Analytics and Google Analytics and see how many blogs did people read when they were on my website? How long did they watch that video piece that I put out there? How many times are they clicking on my ads? How many times are they sharing this, or hearting it, or thumbs up in it, or commenting on it, or asking questions? There's so much that you can learn from your Facebook Analytics. Super deep, way deeper than I can do in a video like this. Just know that it's available. If you have questions about things like this, please reach out to us. I get so geeked out by all the fun numbers that Facebook shares with you and what you can do with it. It's really cool, and there's so much more marketing that you can do based on these results. So those are my 5 tips. If you're thinking about blogging and you haven't started yet, get on it, man. Start typing. If you don't know how to tell your story, record it in audio format and have somebody else type it for you. Just get your message out there. Maybe you're more comfortable in front of a video like this and you need to do it in video fashion or audio fashion like a podcast, but find a way to get your content out there. Be the storyteller of your business and your industry, and it's going to separate yourself apart from the pack. So my name is Eric Hammond. I'm with The Orange Stack. We share this video with you every single week in our newsletter. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.